All right, today we're going to dive into this really powerful, thought provoking parable. It's all about a star, but not just any star, one with a very specific, almost self destructive purpose. It's one of those stories that really makes you question our ideas about power, about legacy, and maybe most importantly, about the art of letting go. So let's get into it. So, the story really centers on this one single extraordinary figure. And no, it's not a person. We're talking about an ancient star. And as you'll see, this star has a very, very specific and pretty unusual reason for its existence. The story kicks off with this just beautiful, almost sacred imagery, right? You're immediately placed in this vast, quiet universe, and your focus is drawn to this one single point of light. This star has been a constant, for ages, but its whole purpose is about to change in a huge way. So it turns out the star's real identity, well, it's not the main event. It's what's called a herald. And what's a herald? It's basically an official messenger. Its entire reason for being is to announce that something bigger, something more important is on its way. It's like a cosmic signpost, just pointing toward the future. And this focus, this is what makes its mission so unique. And the text even calls it terrible. I mean, think about that. Its job is to cut through the deepest darkness, but not for its own fame or glory. Its whole point is to announce the real dawn, to avoid getting caught up in its own importance, and then, get this, to burn itself out completely for the sake of a greater light. Wow. Okay, so when you have a light that's this brilliant, it's really no surprise that it started attracting followers. But this is where the real conflict of the story starts to bubble up. It's all in how they completely misunderstand what the star is actually for. The story calls these followers creatures of the twilight. I love that phrasing. It suggests they're living in this kind of in-between space, right? And they've become totally dependent on the star's familiar, steady glow. For them, this star, it's the whole show. It's everything. So here's where they really go wrong. These are their fundamental mistakes. Instead of seeing the star for what it is, a temporary guide, they start building monuments to it, trying to make it permanent. They write hymns about its glory and its glory alone, because they literally can't imagine a world without it. They're mistaking the signpost for the final destination. But the star itself, it has a lesson for them. And let me tell you, it's not a gentle one. The text describes its message with cruel and honest clarity. It's basically a massive, necessary shock to their whole belief system. And here it is, the star's first direct command. It's just this powerful rejection of their worship. It's basically shouting, "Stop adoring me. I'm not the destination. I'm just the promise of a journey that hasn't even begun yet." It's like saying, "Hey, I'm the movie ticket, not the movie itself. The real show hasn't even started." And right there, that's the core of its teaching. The star's entire value, its whole purpose, is in its ability to get them to look somewhere else. It's a bridge, right? A guide that's meant to be crossed and then, left behind. Its success is literally measured by how well it can make itself completely unnecessary. Okay, this brings us to what is probably the most profound and, well, paradoxical idea in the entire story. It's a philosophy that isn't about growth or getting bigger. It's about fading on purpose. This right here is the star's central mission statement. Just let that sink in for a second. He must increase, but I must decrease. I mean, we live in a world that's all about getting bigger, brighter, more permanent, right? And here, the star's highest calling is to shrink, to fade, to get out of the way for something else. And the story's super clear about what this decreasing actually means. It draws a really sharp line in the sand. On one side, you have humility that comes from weakness, like a slave's resentment or just giving up. But that's not what this is. On the other side, this is framed as the highest form of the will to power. It's a radical, life-affirming choice. It's not an act of defeat. It's an act that makes way for something even greater. It's not a tragedy. It's a willing act of self-overcoming. So this means the star's final moments, its disappearance, that's not a failure at all. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's the culmination of its entire purpose. It's its greatest, most magnificent, and final lesson. The text uses this amazing phrase for it: a magnificent going under. This isn't just passively fading away. No, it's an active, powerful, triumphant descent. It is the ultimate yes to the future, a deliberate choice to say that what is coming is more important than what is here right now. So the final really difficult lesson for the worshippers comes in 3 steps. First, they have to learn to look away from the guide, the one thing they've always relied on. Second, they have to stare into that terrifying, unknown gap, the chasm between the star's fading light and the new dawn. And finally, they have to trust in a future they can't even see yet, a dawn that, by definition, required the end of the only sun they've ever known. And so the parable kind of leaves us with this powerful question to chew on. The star was a bridge to the future, right? So it makes you wonder, what are the bridges in our own lives? The guides, the ideas, the temporary comforts that we might be treating like they're the final destination. What do we need to learn to look beyond so that we can face our own chasm and trust in our own coming dawn?